What the freaking heck, YouTube? I swear, you don't stream on YouTube for like a week and YouTube has a hissy fit about it. Think I'm making that shit up? Absolutely not. YouTube gets so petty so easily, it's actually insane. Wowzers. Is that fixed now? Let me see here. There we go. Goodness gracious. What the heck was that all about, eh? Sorry about that. YouTube has like this very funny thing. I guess let me just delete. No, I can't even delete it right now. Ugh. Blech. Oh, you know what? Hang on. Now I have to fix this actually too. Let me pop out that. Yeah, YouTube has this really funny thing where if you don't stream on it for like a couple of days, it just shits the bed and refuses to work for you. Very cool, YouTube. Very cool as always. That should be fixed now, though. Let me go to Twitter and be like... listen. It was... I hit start, all right? And hang on, your comments aren't on the thing yet now because I have to fix this. There we go. I hit start. And then I was like, I was talking away, talking myself up, doing the introduction and all that. And then YouTube goes like, nah, actually, you're not streaming. I'm like, bro? They have like, because like their system is so weird. I like how with YouTube you can set up thumbnails and like make a stream, like a video type of event, right? But it's really frustrating. Like, it's so frustrating how it just can't be the way Twitch works, you know, where it's normal. it's like that one meme, right? The why can't you just be normal? And it's just like the kids screaming in the background. That's YouTube, you know. Anyway, let me tweet it out. Okay, for real. Okay, for real. Start. There we go. Anyway, that's my way of excusing myself of all fault. It is not me who is wrong. It is the YouTube children. Anyway, what's up, guys? How y'all doing? How have I been doing? Anyway, yeah, what was I saying before YouTube shit itself? Right. I've done that before, actually. I think there was this one Majora's Mask stream I did without actually hitting the go live button because you can set auto start to be enabled by default, but why would you ever not want auto start enabled? Like, just like, whatever. I wish it would just. I wish I wouldn't have to turn on every single time I schedule a stream. You know, it's really frustrating. Anyway, blaming YouTube for my own incompetence aside. It's been a minute since I uploaded anything substantial, right? There was the Last Guardian streams, which were fun, and then there was before that there was the Resident Evil 4 VR stream. Then before that, there was just the last thing I uploaded that was edited was the Simp of Dojima, which was just a celebration video for Kei-san's anniversary, right? My Oshi. But that's nothing related to me specifically, right? And of course, the last big things, I never finished Neo: The World Ends With You. I wasn't never sure if I was going to complete that on stream anyway, because it's a really long game. And I was kind of vibing, just kind of playing it by myself. And especially since it's a new game. And then, of course, there was game news and the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories playthrough, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. So why did I stop for a couple months? The main reason, so if OBS will let me bring it up here, the main reason was school. School was kind of killer this year. It wasn't too bad compared to some years I've had in school. Like I got B's and A's in all my classes, so can't really complain. But it was the main reason I wasn't able to stream as much, because I really wanted to go hard on it. And I did at the beginning. And I could have gotten an A in probably all of those classes, but I did the I did the dastardly deed of trying to get a job while while going to school. I go to college, of course, by the way, right? I'm not in like regular high school or like grade school, right? I go to college. I'm currently in the process of getting my bachelor's for computer science. And the really frustrating thing about this degree for me is that I am not at all interested in doing this profession anymore at all. You hear that about some like famous nerd people, right? Famous nerd people. It's so condescending, but I'm sure they would get understand what I mean. Where they go to school and they realize after getting the degree, it's like, aha, yes, I've gotten this chemistry degree. I now know for 100% certainty I do not want to study in the field of chemistry. Or I don't want to perform work in the field of chemistry. That's pretty much what happened with me with school. This actually it happened with me like a semester ago, but this semester definitely reinforced it, that programming and computer science I think is really fascinating and fun, especially in certain areas. But doing like actually programming as a profession sounds so monotonous in the least fun way possible that I just kind of want nothing to do with it as a profession. And that's what all I've really managed to get out of this eventual degree so far. Sorry, I'm thirsty. So yeah, well, fuck me in the ass last semester. I had to drop 2 honors classes and an elective this semester. That fucking sucks, man. Yeah, it's like, what classes did I have this semester? I had data structures, which was great because my teacher was based, right? A little cringe, but mostly based. I speak like such a fucking degenerate. You know what I mean, though, right? Based good, cringe bad. No, but I mean cringe in like the literal sense of the word, because like one of the first things he tried to do when we got into class was he shilled his esports team. I'm not making this up. He shilled his esports team for for the class to sign up to, right? That was the first thing my data structure teachers, I should say my school has its own esports team, and he's the captain of it, and that's why he was shilling it. And you could get credits out of it, to be fair. So I guess it was relevant to some degree. However, just the premise of that, like I wasn't... Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Yawning now. Ooh, wake up, Jake. All right. I wasn't... It's okay, that's true. I wasn't too interested in joining his esports team. But other than that, the data structures, the process that I learned for programming, it was fun. And I guess it's actually kind of the only nice thing I have to say about my classes this semester, because the other classes I had were with 2 of the worst teachers I had the semester prior. And the one teacher I don't think is necessarily like bad in the sense that he's knows a lot. He's just, I don't think he's a very good teacher. Whereas the other guy, he's a good teacher, but what he's teaching is presented in the most like flaccid way, and his way of speaking is just not good. His methods are good, but listening to him is a chore, basically. Let's put it that way, right? And that made those classes kind of poopy diapers, as well as the homework. The homework for this probability and statistics class I had, dude, he rarely gave it out, and whenever he did, it was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? Which I expected, because I had him last semester for a different class, and he did the same exact thing. He just makes it up as he goes along, and it's so frustrating. See, like, I think the problem I have with school esports teams is they all play the same shit, you know? It's always like, hey, you want to play FIFA, Madden, what are those MOBAs? League of Legends, Valorant, you know, Riot Games, and maybe a little Hearthstone and some... I almost said Stardust Crusaders. What's that game called? The Star... Is it Star? It's the Blizzard game where it's like no one really plays it anymore. Something 2. Anyway. Oh, you had it worse than me, actually. We at least had Smash Brothers, because that's the only thing people play in my fucking state in terms of FGC is just Smash Brothers. I would have considered signing up for like maybe the Guilty Gear team because I knew no one else in the school was playing Guilty Gear, and he actually considered like he was like, oh, actually I'd like if you join because you could head the FGC front because all we really have is Smash, right? And I considered that, but I was like, bro, I don't have time because I'm one, I do like small jobs at home for my dad. I like help manage his business, which is how I get away with living here at my home, at my parents' house. I mean, I live in the Onsen, but shut up. This other guy, Jacob, he lives with his parents still, and he does work for his dad. But near the end of the semester, I also got another job that I'm going to be talking about later, and that not only kind of shit on my grades a little bit, but I was just way too busy to join and head some fucking FGC esports team. It just wasn't going to happen. But the guy himself was chill. I got robbed, though, because one of the other classes I did that was with one of those bad teachers was a computer organization class, right? That was when like he was supposed to teach us stuff about how... I think the main takeaway from the class was circuit design, right? Like how to design a circuit, how, and like, you know, using binary numbers. And like, you know, because binary is like electricity signal being sent versus not being sent, and that's how computers communicate, is like a pattern of different ones and zeros, or in this case, electricity on or electricity off. The game is Rocket League. That was one we had as well. But the fucking like what the fuck was I saying? Right, yeah. The teacher himself was just like a chore to listen to, even if the subject was kind of interesting. And I did retain a lot of it. But the problem I have is that my data structures teacher, who was cool, was doing a computer organization class next semester, which I've already signed up for, obviously, because I only got 2 semesters left. I'm almost out, boys. And he was gonna teach people how to fucking do hex code hacks for like NES games, like the original Super Mario Brothers. I'm like, bro, that sounds so much more fun than whatever the hell I'm doing. I'm just like copying down like the same numbers over and over again for homework, and he's teaching people to do hex code hacks. Man, I got robbed so hard on that one class, man. I'm really disappointed, but that's the luck of the draw, I guess. What are you gonna do? But yeah, that was my school experience. I can't really think of anything else that stands out, honestly. I'm more just bringing this up because it's the reason why I was really absent from both video editing and live streaming. I want to get back to making like an actual edited video because I haven't made one in a while. I want to start doing some highlight compilations for not just myself, but also for some people I like Kason, right? Because I think like some of her streams have some really good moments that maybe some people don't always maybe appreciate it in the same way I do. I want to like, you know, the video editing class last semester became your study hall. I remember I took one video editing class in high school, and that teacher he was a good teacher, ? I want to say he was. But he had his head so far up his ass, dude, because he used to work for like Disney like once. And so he would always have like, he was very critical, you know, for a bunch of kids who were just fumbling around on computers. He was very critical towards them and always kind of surprised me. I'm like, dude, relax. I love video editing though. It is fun. It's one of the things, it is probably the thing in hindsight, if I could go back and change my degree, but it's too late now, so I have to commit to it. I would probably either choose that with a major in that with a minor in Japanese. I really, really wish I had taken Japanese classes in college, because that is definitely where my passion lies most right now. I haven't been able to study it and do my reps lately because fucking school and work, and it's but neither of which I really have any passion for. I want to just learn Japanese for plans I'll discuss later, but so that I'm really frustrated by that. But I mean, the bachelor's in computer science is definitely not a degree that most people can snuff their noses at when looking for jobs, so it's a good thing to have anyway, I guess. But still really frustrating. It's not a degree I'm actually looking forward to getting because I'm interested in working in that field, you know. Based poggers Chad. Oh hell yeah, that's sick. I think the most cool teacher I've ever had was, it was weird. It was a subject I still don't really particularly care about, and I don't think is interesting, but again, it's not something I would like go out of my way to study or have a profession in, and that's astrology. My astrology teacher in high school was so fucking cool. He was the coolest fucking guy on this planet. He brought a GameCube in for us to play Melee once. Like, that is so sick. He was just the coolest teacher I've ever had, and I hope I could be as cool as that guy one day. That guy was sick. But anyway, yeah, I'm not exactly looking forward to my classes next semester as a result. They start in T-minus 12 days, I think. I mean, it'll be fine. I'm just trying to get them over with, you know. This is the last year, hopefully, I have to not only be in school, but also be in this country. I'm going to get into that in a little bit later, though. So, yeah, aside from school, like the classes semester, they were okay, kind of cringe, but I'm mostly just done with this study, you know, the study of computer science. I'm kind of fed up with it. I think it's interesting. I like studying it, but doing the work for it, kind of miserable. I don't really enjoy it. Luckily, I did something bad. I was able to get away with just not doing my final project for 2 of my classes because I knew I would still pass. And that's how I got a B instead of an A in one of those classes. I still got an A in one of the classes I didn't do the final project for, actually. So that just goes to show how well I did otherwise. But yeah, it's just, I've lost all passion for this shit, man. Oh, sorry. Really thirsty. Hydration. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about school. Like I said, nothing too interesting, but I'm just kind of fed up with it. But it is the main reason, absolutely the main reason I have not been as active recently. So there you go. Old teacher brought in his Wii. Hell yeah, dude. Trying to torture. Oh, I mean, like if he brought in an SD card with Project M on it, you had it good. Dude, Project M was so fucking good. That thing got robbed so hard, man, by reality. that thing deserved to be its own game, man. Loved Project M so much. All right, anyway, next topic. So again, the other thing that kept me busy besides school, work. So I got another job besides the work I already do at home for my dad. I got a job at Best Buy. I'm a blue shirt now, boys. It was originally just a seasonal job, but they eventually decided to hire me as part-time. And I was both happy and kind of miserable upon hearing that news, because on the one side, hey, more consistent income, right? On the downside, it means I'm now fucking a part-time Best Buy retail hell employee again, which was something that I left behind during the COVID. I was going to say during the COVID pandemic, but I guess really we're still in it, especially after some recent news. So during the beginning of the COVID pandemic, I left retail behind and never looked back. But unfortunately, I really needed some money, and the only thing you can really do around these parts is work retail. But at the very least, it's in a field I'm slightly more interested in, that being technology. So I run sales in the computer department, so I'm able to actually help people find things that they need. Though the thing that sucks most about it is definitely that the main thing that they want you to do in this job is they want you, little insider information here, by the way, don't let anyone I told you this. They want you to sell the total text, and they want you to sell the credit card. They don't care about you selling literally anything else. Obviously, they prefer you sell more expensive products than like $200 shitty laptops, right? But you don't get commission for anything anyway. In fact, you don't even get commission for these total techs or credit cards. You just get acknowledged as being a good salesman, basically. That's it. And I hate that because I don't think I don't really like credit cards in general, firstly. I think I don't like that system in America. Firstly. And two, the total techs I don't think are that good of a deal. And if you're the type of person that buys warranties, it's a great deal, I guess. But if you're the type of person that buys warranties, you're kind of an idiot. That those warranties, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they don't cover shit, man. Like, the only thing I would ever care about a warranty covering, and maybe I'm wrong about this, so please give me your opinion on it, everyone. But if a warranty doesn't cover me damaging the product, what the fuck is the point of the warranty, man? Like, seriously, is not self-destruction the biggest like cause of destruction of property, right? It's not like the things just spontaneously decide to stop working. That's not how tech works, right? That's how some people think tech works. But I guarantee 90% of people who are using their warranties could actually very easily just like flip switched on or off effectively, you know, in terms of not literally, but in terms of like how easy it would be to fix the problem. And the thing would be working fine, right? I'm quitting my job, not clickbait. See, I've already quit multiple jobs at this point, right? Quit a job at this local. I quit a job at a dollar store, which is easily the worst job I've had. I've quit a job at a mini golf course, which was my first job. I've quit a job at this one cafe because they just didn't give me enough hours. And I quit a job at the one before I had before this one, which was at a grocery store. I helped run the shop from home department, like the online orders, helped run that. And I quit that because they were trying to take advantage of us during COVID, and I was not very appreciative of that. I hope I can upload a video like that one day, but I kind of have to just bide my time and hope that this year goes really well. I think it's going to be an exciting year for me because I'm going to try my best to achieve a lot of important things for me, right? But work is going to have to remain a necessary evil for a while, I believe, because I need the consistent income. I say consistent, but they just had me not scheduled for 5 days. I guess we'll see what happens when the season ends and once everyone's not like dying from this new strand of COVID, or not dying, but well, I hope no one's dying anyway in my department, but everyone's like catching this new strand of COVID. I had to take off for like 10 days not because I was sick for 10 days. I had like a small cold. I took a test. It was negative. The work wouldn't let me come back for like 10 days. Luckily I got paid during it, but still it was like, damn. It was like the HR department of this Best Buy I work at. It's definitely a lot better than the grocery store I used to work at. That's definitely for sure the case. Anyway. Yeah, that's work. It's okay though. It's definitely the best job I've ever had, but it's still retail, and it's something that you lose passion for extremely fast. It becomes mind-numbing at walking in there every single day, so you can say the same shit and do the same shit, and then your voice gets tired and your throat starts to hurt. all because you're just repeating ad nauseum the same shit to stupid assholes who don't know what the hell they're doing, you know? That's a bit rude, but you gotta understand, some of the people that come in Best Buys, they're definitely more competent overall than some of the other people that come in, like the grocery store I used to work at, or God help me, that dollar store I used to work at, dude. The stories I could tell you from that shit. In fact, I will in a second, but this Best Buy job isn't bad. It's definitely the best retail job I've ever had, and of all the jobs I've had, it's the most tolerable, but it's definitely not something I want to do with my life, and despite how some people in there seem to be content to do so, it's just, I got bigger dreams than Best Buy, definitely, and I kind of wish it wasn't taking up my time, but what are you gonna do, right? Necessary Evil and all that. That fucking Dollar General. That was the name of the dollar store I worked at, by the way. I'm not sure how popular of a brand that is. It's mainly like an East Coast dollar store. You guys know I live in the East Coast now. Oh no, I think I've mentioned what state I live in. You want work stories? Okay. All right. I got some work stories for you. So, this one time, they're almost all going to be dollar store stories. That dollar store was fucking miserable, dude. It was easily the worst job I ever had, and I'm going to explain to you in exact detail why. Never work at this store or any branch. What I say was, I already said what it was, right? Yeah, Dollar General. If you ever see a Dollar General and you're on the East Coast of the United States of America, never work there. Because here's how their structure works, right? They're typically pretty small stores. So instead of having a bunch of employees like working different departments, what they do instead, like someone working register, someone working manager and all that, what they do instead is 1 to 2 people run the entire store. That's it. That is how Dollar General is structured. 1 to 2 people run the entire store. One person has to be a key holder. Sometimes you don't even need a key holder there, though, if you assume nothing's going to go wrong, even though something always goes wrong, because the people who come into dollar stores, at least this brand of dollar stores down where I live, are complete degenerates. Like this one person who I'm pretty sure was quote-unquote pregnant, came into the store every single day. She was pregnant for, I swear to God, the entire time I worked there. I worked there for over a year. I'm not sure if it's possible to be pregnant for that long. In fact, I know it's not possible to be pregnant for that long. So maybe she had like a condition with her stomach. Maybe I was just assuming she was pregnant, but that was a pregnant belly, dude. Like she was skinny everywhere else but that stomach. So I don't know what the hell, but she was constantly cracked out of her mind, this lady, and I like dreared it every single time she walked in. And one time we actually had to call the police on her because she was upset about the price of some cheese. This is the mentality of the type of people that were coming to the store, right? It wasn't always just the workers, though. I'm not the workers, the customers, though. It was mostly the customers, but sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was my coworker. This one coworker I had when I worked there, right? This fucking kid, God bless his soul, the first thing he does when I start working there, he comes up to me, he goes, "Yo, dude, check this out." And he shows me his wallet. It's got an anime girl on it. I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." But I'm thinking in my head, why would you show me this, for one? 2, why would you assume I know what anime that's from? Pregnant Simi. And like, I still don't, it looked like a high school DxD girl to me. And honestly, if it was, I would have said, that's based. But I don't think it was. I think it was like some, like, it's one of those anime girl designs. Whenever I see it, I'm like, that's not from a real anime. Like a computer generated that. That's fake. It's not real. It probably was real. It looked like it might have been like Azure Lane girl, like a fucking gotcha girl for all I know. Fucking gotcha girls, dude. Whenever I assume, like, when I'm like see like an anime girl design that looks like it was generated by a computer, I assume it was a fucking girl from a gotcha game. You ran over one of your coworkers. I think he knows. Oh hell yeah, dude. I don't have any like nearly killing people extreme stories like that, but I got a couple other funnier ones, or not funnier, but funny ones. Yeah, work stories, they're both the best and the worst. Another awful thing that happened. Anyway, I didn't finish talking about the guy who showed me his fucking wallet, right? The wallet was not the worst part about it, not even close, right? The wallet was acceptable. The thing that sucked about him the most is that he clearly didn't shower. He smelled so fucking bad. I am not exaggerating. I'm not even trying to like make this hyperbolic just for the sake of haha laughs. No, he smelled rancid, dude. And every single time he worked register and he called me up because I was a key holder, because I was a good boy that got promoted, right? He called me up to like do like an override or something like that. I would dread it. Tears would go down my eyes as I realized I would now have to get within like a foot of him to help him do something, and I'd have to fucking smell that just awful rancid BO that just drenched his entire body. That man was so disgusting. And he would like brag about it to me too. He would like, yeah, I went like a week without going taking a shower starting today, or like marking today or something like that. I'm just like, why would you, one, admit that, and two, proudly? like there was at least like the benefit of the doubt I could have made, where it's like, oh, you know, maybe he couldn't afford to turn on his water or anything like that. You know, that's sad. It's like, no, he was just actively choosing not to bathe. I know like some people, like you on like 4chan or something, right? And you hear some people that are like, this girl, imagine the smell. She's so stinky. That's so hot, right? Guess what? It's not hot. It's gross. Stinky people are gross. Shower, bathe, if you're able, of course. Like, if it's one thing if you can't afford to, that I understand. But like, if you're a type of person that actively goes out of their way not to bathe, I am begging you, don't do it for you. Do it for the people around you. You have no idea how much you smell. Sigma strat? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. Shit is just nasty, dude. I don't know what else to say. What? Oh my god. I had this one girl that showed up and she was like turned manager day one because like she knew someone at the store, and then she got fired for racism. That was pretty amazing. What happened was my one coworker who was black, she was working with her, and the manager who just joined the girl, she made a joke that was actually, we don't even know if it was a joke, honestly, because I wasn't there when it happened, but the person, the black girl that I worked with, she was pretty chill, by the way. She was easily like my favorite coworker. She described it as the girl, like some other like black customers came up to, you know, check out, right? And I forget what they were doing. They needed help with something or something like that. Again, I wasn't actually there myself, but I was only there for when she got fired, which was really awkward. And she made a joke about how like, oh wait, can you help them because you know them, right? So she made a joke about them knowing each other because they're both black. It's like, bro, at least make a, like, what the fuck? What kind of, it's not even a good joke. It's not even clever. Like, what the fuck? It like, way to get fired over that. And yeah, I was there on the day she got fired. That was really awkward. Oh, this is another one I wasn't there for, but I came into work and bore witness to the aftermath. My coworker got a return from a customer, right? And that customer, again, this is all the same store. Let me just reiterate that. This customer went to return a candle. He said, I want to return this candle. It doesn't taste good. I think it's rotten. And my coworker went, no, he couldn't have, right? And what happened was, he didn't know it was a candle. He didn't actually say, I'm going to return this candle. He said, I want to return this, right? He didn't specify it was a candle. And the reason he didn't is because he didn't know it was a candle. See, the candle was pie scented, and it had a little fake pie, like, plastic cardboard cover on the top. And when my coworker went to open it, he saw that there was a pie. I mean, a pie. There was a bite taken out of the candle. The man bought a candle thinking it was a pie, opened it, took a bite out of it, tasted what was clearly wax, and went, this didn't realize, oh, this is disgusting. This isn't a pie. This is a candle. He didn't realize that. He thought it was still a pie and went, this is a disgusting pie. I'm going to return this to the store. Like, what? That I wouldn't have believed my coworker when he told me about that, but he showed me the pictures of the candle with the bite mark, and they were real. It was a real thing that happened. I think the worst story though from that store, and one I was there for, much to my dismay. I was working Christmas Eve. It was a long shift. It was like an 8-hour shift, right? And that fucking shift, dude, it was so miserable. I had to... It was supposed to be a nice dead night, but instead it was so busy. And we were supposed to close early, but instead we ended up closing on time, quote unquote, right? But my fucking coworker, not the one... Not the one who smelled. This was a different coworker. This coworker was just kind of thick, right? He was a thick big boy, right? We'll call him Albert, right? That's what we're gonna call him. Albert, he was the key holder at the time. Me, I was just a regular little grunt boy working the register, and we were closing, getting ready to close up for the night, go home, celebrate, right? And this fucking fucker, he has this really shitty beat up car, and he keeps his keys to the store attached to his car keys. And he has this brilliant idea before we close tonight, right? I'm going to go out and start heating up my car. Okay, makes sense. It's really cold out, right? It's Christmas Eve after all. Motherfucker, he leaves the work keys along with the keys to his car inside of his car, which makes sense because he doesn't have like a fancy car, right? So he has to leave them on so it can turn on. But he forgot that his thing to unlock the car, like his beeper, I forget what the name for that is, but the thing that will unlock the car when you're outside that you can like detach from the actual keys, he forgot it didn't work. So what happened was we couldn't fully lock the store because the keys to do so for the store were locked inside of his car, which was also locked because we couldn't get in because the keys to the car were inside the car with the work keys. So what ensued was me, him, and another coworker we had to call over to help were there until 1 a.m. So it took like, I swear to God, like 4 hours trying to break into my coworker's own car so we could properly lock the store and go home. I have never been so mad at a coworker in my entire life. And it was clown shoes the entire event, dude. We were taking coat hangers trying to stick them down, unlock the car, but of course this motherfucker has to have this such specifically shitty car, dude. It was the worst shit. And the only coat hangers we sold in the store were like these fucking plastic ones. We didn't have any actual like wireframe ones, so they couldn't even fit through the fucking window. So we had to find a way to pry the window open slightly without breaking the damn car. Thank God that a coworker that we hired that we called over, he was like basically a criminal. So we got to use him for some criminal deeds. In fact, I think he got fired from the store at some point for being said criminal. So that was great. Oh no, he got fired because he showed up to work high once. That's what happened. Anyway, yeah, that was one of the worst shifts of my entire life, and I will never forgive that coworker for doing that. Not that I got to see him much. He quit not that long later. He quit and then stuck all of his shifts on me. That was pretty cool of him. So yeah, don't work at Dollar General. It's a bad place. All the people that come in are degenerates, and all the coworkers are smelly. Actually, there was one thing smellier than the coworkers. This is the actual last story. Then we'll move on to a different topic. The one thing smellier than the coworkers was these two customers that came in. God bless their souls. I think they were like, it was the mom and these two twins, and I think the twins were handicapped or something like that. Which, you know, God bless them. But they smelled so fucking bad, and they went around each aisle licking the toys. They can't help it, you know, if they're handicapped, right? The mom can't. The mom was just letting them do whatever the fuck they wanted, right? And that's what kind of got on my nerves. And that was where the main problem was lying, obviously, right? But, dude, I had to... I was texting my friends in Discord while that shift was happening. And I was telling them, dude, like, I am going around everywhere they go as subtly as I can, just dousing everything that I touch with like disinfectant spray, because the smell, I swear, because they were traveling around the whole store, it started consuming the air of the store. It was like the normal air in the store, and the stink from these two individuals was battling it out. And the regular air was losing, bros. It was losing really bad. And no matter where I walked or where I went, the smell, it would not come away. And I had to text my friends, I'm going to lock the store, firebomb this location. Don't let the smell escape. Please, I beg you. You can't let this world suffer. And obviously I was joking, and that apparently got a good laugh out of them. But like, seriously, dude, like I didn't feel like I was joking when I was typing that out, because that was, oh my god, the smell. Also, the floors in the stores like that, dude, they need to be like waxed super hard. Otherwise, they just look like shit every single day. Like, there were some shifts where I'm like, all right, it's time to clean the floors, you know, because of course I had to do shit like that. I had to do everything when you close the store in that damn place. And it just, no matter what you did, it just, the essence of the filth of human beings would not be erased from those floors. But yeah, that's not the job I have right now. The job I have right now is much better. It's a sales job in Best Buy, and it's going all right. It's going all right. It makes me enough dough. Hopefully it'll give me enough dough to maybe move out as I move on to my next topic, which is home life. There we go, home life. So yeah, as I mentioned before, I live with my parents. We don't always get along the best, honestly. It's getting worse as I get older and they get older, right? Because we clearly have a lot of significantly different views on things, which wouldn't be an issue. But as I'm sure a lot of you probably also feel, like, this COVID shit brought out the worst in a lot of people, and I'm definitely not exempt from that, right? Because I've been pretty had very little patience for people who go out of their way to get other people potentially sick or hurt, right? Because I've never liked that kind of shit in general as a kid. Like, when people come into school sick and shit like that, I've always thought that was really irritating, because who wants to get sick, right? No one wants to get sick. And at first, my parents were pretty good about it, but they've gotten extraordinarily bad about it as time has moved on. They've grown less and less patience, and they've started, you know, Facebook is a disease, and they're chugging it down like it's bleach. It's just frustrating to have to listen to. But like, you know, obviously if they have different opinions to me, that's not the issue, right? The main issue is that they, like, whenever I go to try to act like do my due diligence with given this whole situation, right? You know, like quarantine when I feel like I've been sick, or you know, call out of things, or tell my family when one of them gets a positive fucking case to, hey, don't go around anywhere, you're gonna get people sick. They yell at me, call me a cop, call me a blah 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 blah, all these others fucking names, and then go and do it anyway, and then apologize to me later. And it's like, why are you apologizing to me? It's not me I'm worried about, you know? It's other people that you just seem completely unconcerned with, you know? Like, I don't know about you guys, and I may complain about the stupidity of man and all that jazz, right? But I generally like other, like human beings and don't want to get them sick or hurt, you know? Because they're part of, like, the same race as me, and, you know, we all should be working together, ideally. So, when, like, believe what you want to believe, but why would you potentially, at best, make someone feel incredibly uncomfortable, or at worst, kill them? You know, like does that potential like just dwell on their I don't get it. I used to think my family is a lot less selfish than they actually are, and coming to that realization was a bit of a bummer. Honestly, it made me pretty upset. A bit over it now, but that all being said, there's plenty of other reasons that we kind of fight. And it's just kind of depressing for both of us. So I've been trying to look for the way to finally move out, honestly. Part of the reason I can only stream at late times like this as well is because just you never know when someone's just gonna fucking walk in as well, right? So, yeah, I would like to move out because it would be better for everyone. I think if I did, I'd miss my mom's dog, obviously, but aside from that, wouldn't be missing much. So it probably would, but the problem is it's so expensive to live down where I live, man. Like, searching for apartments sucks ass down here, and it's so frustrating, especially to find one that's not too far away from school, or it's not in like an area where I'm 90% sure I'm just going to die, you know? It's so much harder than it needs to be to find a good fucking place to rent around here. And worse, so it's harder to find a place that you can actually live with the money that you make. That's why I hope this Best Buy job kind of pans out a bit better to an extent, because I could definitely use the dough for just, you know, finding a place to stay for this last year of school, right? It's like it is, I do only have a year left. I might just have to like just tough it out, you know, and just continue to bite my tongue and just make peace as much as I can. But sometimes it gets really hard to do so, especially when you get antagonized just for trying to do the right thing. It's really frustrating. Yeah. Sorry the stories went from real funny to real, I guess, you know, right? But definitely wanted to get this type of talk out of the way, because this shit is just... Otherwise, I think I've actually really liked my life right now, but this is like the only part that's like, I wish it was better, you know? I'm not gonna say it's bad. Definitely, so many people have it so much worse to me. I'm definitely blessed, you know? Like, I have this whole room to myself of all of the equipment I could ever need in it. And it's like super fancy, and I definitely am grateful for that, and of course everything else my folks have done for me. But man, I'm getting older, and they're getting older and more irritable, you know, less willing to listen to any form of reason, or just becoming less empathetic over time, you know, and it's just something that's hard for me to deal with. So I definitely want to try to find a place soon, and if I can't, I'm just gonna have to tough it out until the year ends and I get my degree, so I can move to Japan, hopefully. Which brings me to my next point. I did not mean to move that. There we go. My next topic. So, The one thing I want to do by the end of the year is move to Japan to be an English teacher. Now, I don't have a degree in teaching or English, though I have done both, obviously, to a strong degree. One, because I'm fluent in English, obviously, though that may be hard to believe sometimes. And two, because, excuse me, many of my classes have required me to do like some type of teaching process for whatever reason. So yeah, it's going to be hard for me to get one of these jobs in terms of like a more fancy one, but in terms of the ones where they just ship you over to Japan and just let you help teach English in a mostly English environment because they assume you don't speak a lick of Japanese. Hell yeah. Because I mentioned it earlier, but one passion I think I really have more than anything right now is learning Japanese, which I haven't been able to do as regularly, unfortunately. Which sucks. So what I would like to do is I'd like to, use foot. You're gonna type foot. Oh god, it got Jesus. No. Anyway, what I would like to do is I would love to go use the opportunity that programs like Jet give you to move use that to get a job over there, and then use my degree while I'm over there and my time I have when I'm not being a teacher and streaming, of course, ideally, to learn Japanese and get jobs in other fields. Specifically, I want to get a job in QA localization, because if I know both English and Japanese, obviously, and I have a degree in computer science, I'd love to do QA localization of games. So that's my current super game plan. It would, 1, use my degree in a field I actually care about. 2, and be in an environment that's as far away from my family as possible. 3, it would be in a culture that I admire and enjoy involving myself in. That's my current future game plan. I, of course, want to keep streaming through the entire process and making videos as well. So hopefully that all goes well in the meantime, right? In fact, I have something to talk about later when it involves that, and anyone who watched my previous stream will already know what I'm going to talk about. But yeah. You're going to plug your streams to your students? Hell no! Absolutely not. That sounds like a nightmare. That sounds like cancer. I would never... I mean, I guess it would be kind of cute if they discovered that, right? But, nah, probably. I'm definitely not going to make them, or plug it to them. If they find it, that's one thing, right? But other than that, nah. But yeah, I do actually like teaching, especially kids, because kids are cool, man. I mentioned it before, but I had a really good teacher in some schools, and cool teachers, kids never forget them. You know, really cool teachers, they don't ever forget them. They become a really important part of their growing process. And if I can teach, hell yeah, dude. If I can teach a bunch of kids about the cool words you can use from English, you know, in a fun way, that sounds fun. You know, that sounds like a good use of my time for me. And if I can then use my time there to involve myself in an environment that I'm actually happy to be in, you know, and not be miserable when I wake up around people I'm not too comfortable around every day, then yeah, that's also a nice plus. Some part of me is nervous about it, though, especially if I imagine I'll get really nervous once I actually, you know, get in front of the plane. I'm afraid my anxiety will kick in real hard. But I think I'm done enough with this home life environment that I'm looking forward to this. I'll just embrace anything. That plane ride's gonna be a bitch, though. Fuck off! Fuck you, dude. Becoming a real YouTuber. Shut up. Finally, no more Nintendo Treehouse butchered localizations. See, that's the other thing, right? Like localizers, excuse me. They do get a hard rep sometimes because it is a harder job than it looks at times, you know? Because it really is more complicated than just literally translating it, right? I understand that. But god damn it, anyone who treats it as an act of creativity when it should be more of a science, and that's the kind of approach I want to come at it from, is that you're not trying to like interpret the character and then write for them. No, you're trying to interpret the words to the best of your ability and then like scientifically plug that into like the spreadsheet that is that character's like vocalage, right? I think that's ideally how you should handle it, and I want to make sure that the words that are actually being written by the original writer are not being basically what you said. No fucking memes thrown in and shit like that. That kind of stuff is the worst. It's just not great. No one likes that. Everyone hates that. It's just cringy. And I get it. It's like, oh, but sometimes the original dub has a meme, and you know that the meme is unknowable to the American public, so you got to translate it or localize it. I understand that to a degree as well. There are some jokes that are really hard to explain. But personally, what I would do is I would rather just have the joke either. The Accused devs struck a pretty good balance where like the sub version is more literally translated and the dub version is more localized, right? I think that's a good balance, but I think we could go even further where you have like a version that has the jokes translated and doesn't or localized, or just the jokes translated with like an asterisk note you can read in like the settings or something like that lets you gives you context for the joke. That might be going a bit far, but I like the idea. I definitely want to work in that field because there were so many games I wanted to play as a kid that never got localized, and gosh darn it, or got a release in the West because they couldn't get translated. And gosh darn it, I want to make sure kids get to play some of the gosh darn games in America, you know? I just want to make sure that they don't suffer like G did. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Teaching kids English in the meantime, though, would definitely be... sounds fun to me. Maybe I'll actually even, instead of just learning Japanese on my own, I might actually go to school for it and be like a teacher student, you know? Right? And take Japanese lessons in Japan, which is about as good as a place to take lessons as you're gonna get, right? It's like taking English lessons in America, or you know, it's the best place to learn it, right? So yeah, that's the end game for my life, I guess. That's what I'm gonna feel most comfortable doing. Hopefully I'll be able to start doing it by the end of the year, but we'll see, because that's when I finish my degree. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the future job. Not much else to say about that, and I don't think there's much else to talk about in terms of non-game related stuff either. Then, oh, I guess I could talk about some more stream stuff. So, future streams. Here you guys go. So, this is also going to be like more of a community question as well, because I kind of want your guys' opinions on this. Right? Obviously, there are a couple of LPs. I could say LPs. Do people still use that term for streams anymore? Is it even appropriate? Because like something like what Chucka Conroy does versus what I do is not exactly comparable. You know, I mean, his are much more high effort. But yeah. I was trying to like rethink how I want to do some of my streams going forward, right? Part of me was thinking that I didn't want to stream games I have never played before anymore, because there is something that you kind of lose when you stream a game you've never played, right? Depending on the game, of course. But like, for example, when I was streaming Neo: The World Ends With You, I enjoyed that, but there was a lot of reading, and as a result, there was kind of a lot of me just kind of reiterating what was on the screen, right? Not really adding anything. And also, that game is kind of a game where you kind of just want to sit back and enjoy the atmosphere and the mood of that the music presents for you, right? And just kind of absorb what's going on. So because it's my first time playing, especially, I don't really have any comments to make on this or that. Whereas with my Kingdom Hearts streams, I've played all those games a billion fucking times. So I know exactly, for the most part, what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and I know what to add, and I know I'm not missing anything in the story when something happens because I already know everything that happens, right? So obviously playing a game you've already played is better, but part of me still doesn't want to forego streaming a game I've never played before either. You know what I mean? I think Yakuza 2, which I also never finished, it kind of struck a nice balance where it was a version of a game I have played before and know what happens, but slightly different. So there were still some surprises in there. It's for the same reason, like part of me is like thinking like, should I keep streaming The Last Guardian? You know what I mean? Because I really like The Last Guardian. And I want to make, you know, like a video, produce content for YouTube about that game. Same with like Gravity Rush eventually, right? I should say I love Team Ico games, and so far I'm enjoying The Last Guardian. But since I don't know how to play the game, a lot of it is me getting frustrated or like getting stuck on a puzzle for like an hour. You know what I mean? And I'm not really sure how enjoyable it is to watch. So I'd love to hear your guys' opinions in regards to that. Aside from that, I really want to bring back game news, but maybe you should stream KH mods. I definitely want to. I don't want to make this channel just a KH channel, but KH definitely is one of my expertise areas for sure, because that's one of the game series I know the most about, like bar none, right? I definitely want to do a stream of a KH2 randomizer at some point as well, because those are really fun. You know, and the other thing that stinks is like I do have a couple of games that I have since I have this PS5 now. For those who don't know, I have a PS5 now, right? And there are a bunch of games I bought. I'm looking at them right now, which is why my avatar is like that. There's a bunch of games I bought that like I kind of want to stream, but I haven't fully finished yet. For example, I have Lost Judgment, right? And I did stream myself playing through Yakuza 4. Or no, 3. I streamed myself playing through Yakuza 3, and that was fun. That was mostly fine. But then I didn't stream myself playing through Yakuza 4. And stream the second run. I think, you know what, I think I'm glad we're actually all on board with this so far, because I was kind of nervous asking about this, because I think we're all in agreement, right? This doesn't even just apply to me. It applies to a lot of people, where if you're already familiar with the game, there's something to be said for when you're streaming a game you aren't familiar with and you get that raw surprise energy and that like reaction, you know? But when you're familiar with the game, you got so much more to add, you know? It's definitely, and honestly, it also is personality based too. Like me personally, I think I'm more interesting to listen to when I actually have something to say, right? Like nonstop. Where if it's something I don't know anything about, I'm not the type of person where I'm going, ooh, ah, oh. I'm not as good. I'm only good with like intense reactions, but reactions, they're so isolated from each other sometimes, you know? And, and as a result, when there's dead air, it's hard to work with it, you know what I mean? Oh, we got a bunch of Yakuza games for Christmas. Nice. So yeah, that's why like a stream like this, like by default, it's more interesting, you know what I mean? Because I'm talking about nonstop about a bunch of stuff, right? Than something like maybe even The Last Guardian stream, because even though it's a game I really love and I want to show my love for it, or rather I should say it's by a studio I really love, because I haven't actually finished it yet. I don't know how much I love it. Yeah, it keeps dead air to a minimum. It's, you know, it's hard to justify it, right? It's also like, because like you're not getting a good experience out of it because you're not watching anyone that's actually good at playing the game, right? You're just like you're basically just coming for me at that point. And I'm not getting as good of experience as I could be, because instead of just playing the game in a more isolated environment on my nice new TV or whatever, I'm playing it at a monitor, constantly looking back and forth at chat, and then realizing, oh shit, I've been stuck on this puzzle for like 5 hours. What I do want to do though what I do want to do is, for those games that I really love, I do want to make some type of like video about them. So what I might do is that all those offline games that I'm playing, or games that I'm playing offline, I might record like some videos and then share my like kind of like slightly scripted but mostly freeform type of talks on, and then we can kind of like continue the discussion in the comments. Maybe something like that, because an example of something I've been doing lately is I've been playing some of the Shadow Colossus remake on my PS5, right? Because for those who don't know, I'm one of those what's the word? I'm one of those negative Nancys who doesn't quite like what Blue Point did with some of the artistic redesigns of the games they've remade not from the ground up, but you know what I mean. Remade, quote unquote, such as the Demon Souls remake and Shadow of the Colossus, of course, right? And let me actually pull up an example here. One second. Is the right thing? Isn't. Here we go. Yeah, here we go. Whoops. Stop. So, this is an example of like something I just like uploaded real quick. Oh my gosh, it's so loud. So like I was playing it so much that I was trying to grind out the speedrun strat for this game, and now this is something I'm interested in streaming now, because and trying to maybe do some speedruns of, because I do like the speedrun strats for this remake a lot. And now it's something I probably want to talk about, is that while the remake I'm not entirely sold on the changes it made in comparison into the original, but when playing it by itself and kind of trying to appreciate it on its own merits, it's still a pretty fun and interesting take on Shadow of the Colossus, right? And that's something that's probably better suited for a video rather than, you know, a fucking hell knows how long playthrough. No. I mean, to be fair, that thing was only popular because people, I can imagine what was happening, right? People were fucking Googling on YouTube how to play Cage on PC or something like that, right? Or like Cage PC launched because they wanted to see like how it was, they want to see it being played by people, basically, right? Like, hey, is it good? And everyone got fucking baited into like trying to fucking, everyone got baited and trying to fucking find just one person playing it, but I wasn't actually playing shit because I was stuck. No one could play it, right? So I didn't expect anyone to stick around for that one. So yeah, you know what's crazy to me, actually, this is another thing I'll bring up in the video. The pop-in in this remake is fucking ridiculous. I don't know if you can't see it in here because of the bitrate, but the pop-in in this remake is definitely the worst part about that too. Not the things in the distance, but actually I shouldn't say pop-in, it's more like a fade-in. The grass like fades in as you run across, you know, like the higher detail foliage, and it's such like a low render distance that it's constantly fading in as you run, and it looks so bad. And I don't understand how they screwed up they made the pop-in so bad in both of their remakes, both the more fateful one and the like makeover one. So they got Cage in the movie. Hell yeah, they did. Yeah, something more edited, because like we live in a world, I don't know how many people here watched Matthew Matosis, but we live in a world without Matthew Matosis now. And gosh darn it, he never made that original versus classic SOTC video. And since I have both the PS2 and the PS4 versions, and I've been playing a lot of the PS4 version, I am interested to make a video like that now, especially since I have some more free time. But, or at least I have more free time for at least, like another 12 days until school starts again. So yeah, maybe for some games that I want to stream, I should probably definitely reconsider streaming them and more just consider, hey, you know what? Maybe it's better if you just, instead of streaming this, you record yourself playing it, or record at least footage of yourself playing it, and then discuss what you want to discuss in the stream, or make like a highlight video or something like that. I think that's definitely a better idea for some games. And I'll stream games that I'm actually familiar with. Like, I'm definitely going to stream Cage too at some point. I don't mean to keep you guys waiting on that one. I'm trying to save that for something special though, because something special is kind of coming soonish, I hope. I guess I'll talk about that right now, actually. Let me talk about that right now. I'm glad we kind of came to a consensus, though. Try to hold back on streaming games that you're not familiar with. Try to stream games that you are familiar with. Because I think my favorite stream, one of my favorite stream series I've ever done was definitely the Majora's Mask one, because I fucking know that game, dude. I know that game. And same with Kingdom Hearts 1, and Kingdom Hearts 2 definitely will be the same case. I know that game, you know? So yeah, I think we agree. Definitely try to stream games that I'm actually more familiar with. Is a godsend for the to the point analysis in a world with 9 hour and see, yeah, because you know what's funniest? The funniest thing about that is, back in the day, he was made fun of for being like, oh man, this guy makes hour-long videos or 40-minute long videos. Dude, you wish you got a 40-minute video nowadays. These fucking 9-hour videos. I mean, they're not as common as some people say they are, right? Like, most of them are usually around like 40, 30 minutes. But his videos, I think he does have one 9-hour video, and it's the Dark Souls commentary, which is just him kind of doing what I just described earlier, I guess, where it's like, it's not a stream, it's like just a really long script where he just goes through the entire game and plays through it, right? And he had a lot to say about Dark Souls 1, obviously, so it's like 9 hours. But, oh man, I could listen to that man talk about anything. If anyone's a patron of him, by the way, have you liked his updates upon his game? I'm excited to play that whenever it gets more, it's still in like he's building block phase where he's literally trying to build systems, but the systems seem fun. I think they're pretty cool. So using Game Maker, I'm glad he's actually like trying to achieve his dreams in that sense, you know. That's admirable. But yeah, change this. So obviously I know some of you are attached to the dog, but the dog is not my design. It is a freeware design that I use from Live 2D because I do not have my own avatar, right? I'm currently in talks with an old friend that I met on the forum way back, who is a very talented artist. I think she's very good. She's done some Hololive fan art in the past that's gotten a decent amount of retweets and likes. Won't chill her yet, but I definitely will start showing her once the time is right. She's actually the one who made this background art as well. The Sento Onsen. She's the one who made this. Not like the topic part in the comment section. I made those, but like the actual background art, like that part right there. She's the one that made that. And I'm in talks with her whenever her schedule's freed up to start working on a design for a new VTuber avatar. And I'm gonna tell you right now, while it will be human, a little human anime fuckboy, it will also be able to turn into a dog. And the dog will be not in a cup, but in a bathtub. That's what we're currently trying to work around right now. So like an actual full model avatar, and then also a little chibi avatar in dog form that has the like bathtub attachment. That's the current game plan right now. When it's going to be ready, no fucking idea. We're looking to start the design process today. Not today. I'm sorry. Whoa. I did not mean to say today. Take that back. This month. This month. But you know, it's up to her whenever her schedule frees up. She's very talented. As a result, she's very busy. But I'm excited, and I hope you guys will be looking forward to the eventual debut stream that I'll be doing with that avatar. Maybe we'll be able to see some new faces here, stuff like that. Yeah, the dog will not go away. But I did want to try to finally get this sounding weird. Listen. Listen. It's because I'm making it weird. I am not a furry. I want to make this perfectly clear. I like dogs because dogs are cool. And I chose this avatar because it was a cute dog in a cup. It is not mine though, so I wanted my own dog, and I know you guys like the dog. But I also wanted one that was an actual, like, human, because it's more, like, relatable and easier to make thumbnails with. And I'd like to use it for some types of streams. But I also want to keep the dog for some other types of streams, because I know you guys like it, and I also think dogs are cool. So I came up with this cool concept I'm going to talk about whenever it's ready, and none of it means I'm a furry, god damn it. I want to make that perfectly clear. But anyway, I'm still excited about it, so I hope you guys will look forward to it too. Oh, actually, one other thing I wanted to talk about when it came to streaming. I want to get your guys' opinion on this, right? Because I've always preferred YouTube in general, right? But it's undeniable that Twitch is not going anywhere anytime soon, right? And YouTube is very, very slow to actually give its streaming function the features it needs to be a competitor with Twitch, specifically in terms of like discoverability. We finally got clips, right? But they work in a kind of awkward way. They're much harder to share compared to like a Twitch clip, and the discoverability of live streams is still so much more of a pain in the ass compared to something like Twitch. YouTube will always be a VOD site, rather an actual video streaming site rather than a live streaming site first, like Twitch is, right? So I've been considering doing at least some streams on Twitch, right? And then try to leave YouTube more for highlights, streaming like type of talk streams like this maybe, or even like maybe just like specific like LP streams that are like, I think like mainstay like games I'm familiar with. Again, kind of like Kingdom Hearts 2, I would probably stream on here, right? But for like some more one-offs or some more fuck around streams, or for like maybe watching YouTube videos together, do Twitch, or playing some other more random games that I don't really care about getting that first time experience with, right? I could try Twitch for those. I don't know. I'm thinking about using Twitch in some circumstances. You guys cool with that? Is that something you're willing to be like, you know what? I'll go to Twitch for Jake. The one thing I will say is I know Twitch is more annoying for some people because the ad situation is so much more frustrating over there compared to YouTube, right? Like like even if you don't use ad block, the fucking the ad situation, you get so much more ads on Twitch, and it's just so frustrating. I definitely have built most of my audience on here, that's for sure. It's like, and let me make it clear, I wouldn't actually leave YouTube. I would still stream on YouTube. It was just like Twitch is more easy. With YouTube, you have to like go through a process to hit the stream button, right? You have to schedule the stream, you have to make a thumbnail for the stream, you have to do all these things, and I like doing that about YouTube, but the end result for that is a much wonkier chat system with not a lot of fun options and a lot less casual of an atmosphere, you know? Yeah, you don't have your YouTube Premium on there. Yeah, like you get Amazon Prime, and that used to give you ads, but I mean, a secret tip, like, you might want to use this extension called Purple Ads Blocker. It kind of helps you know, you just it blocks all the ads. But even if you have that extension and it blocks out Twitch ads, it still doesn't work on like the mobile app, which a lot of people use. Yeah. Which is a pain on the mobile, which is what I use. It's fair. Yeah, so I would never like see, I've thought about using Twitch before, but every time I kind of always back down on it because I do kind of, like, I like Twitch, but I also kind of fucking hate Twitch, you know? You guys feel me on that? Do you guys feel me on, like, kind of just hating Twitch? There's something about, like, the atmosphere about it that just kind of, it's kind of like enraging almost, or like there's something about the user interface, or like I hate Amazon more than Google. Let's just make it that clear, right? I think I just hate Amazon more than Google, and the main thing for me is the ads. I fucking hate the ad situation over there. It is so, why does my lid keep popping? Anyway, it is so annoying having to deal with ads on that fucking website, especially like you mentioned before with the mobile app, because you get barraged by them, dude. It's non-stop. I think they've calmed down a little bit, but even if you're a Twitch Amazon Prime member, or you got Twitch Prime, it doesn't fucking matter. You're always getting fucking shielded with ads unless you're like an actual channel subscriber, right? Which is impossible for someone like me right now, obviously, right? That being said, though, I would like to, yeah, exactly. The culture over there with fucking emojis is kind of obnoxious too. That's why I would never abandon YouTube entirely, because I do want to try Twitch for some streams, because I think it is easier for live streams to be discovered on Twitch specifically, rather, right? Because it's actually a site built around recommending live streams, whereas YouTube really isn't. You type in like Kingdom Hearts or something, you're very rarely going to get a live stream as your first result, right? So yeah, it's that's why I want to at least try it to use sometimes, you know, just be like, hey, by the way, I exist over here too, right? You know, the brand expansion and shit like that. But yeah, I would never use it for anything that I would feel like, you're like, oh fuck, I really wanted to watch on YouTube, right? If there are ads on your streams, do you even make any money? No. That money's going to Twitch. Yeah, I respect that. I actually have YouTube Premium as well, because I don't like having to use ad block. But Twitch, most Twitch ads, unless like the person is streaming, then they hit like the present ad button, then the money goes to them, right? And if they're like obviously a Twitch partner, then all ad money goes to them. But until you're a Twitch partner, it's the same as with YouTube, where all those ads are like for Twitch's sake, not the creators. And I think with Twitch, all of the VOD ads, even if you're a Twitch partner, don't go to you. Which is why people typically sometimes don't even keep up VODs on Twitch. They'll put them on YouTube, because if they have a YouTube channel that has a decent amount of subscribers, they can actually make money off of those VODs, whereas they'll make no money off of those VODs on Twitch. So yeah, with that being said, I would upload all my VODs to YouTube. God bless you for not using adblock, by the way. You're a saint. Rather, you're a better saint than me, honestly, because I don't use it on YouTube, but I can't help but use it on Twitch, because it's just so obnoxious on Twitch. It's so obnoxious on Twitch. Like I watch, you have to understand, I watch Hook Gang God, and that motherfucker will hit you with 1 out of 8 ads, and it's just like, bro, just trying to watch the stream, you know? And that's more his fault, right? I guess, because like you don't have to hit him with 1 out of 8 ads. That's just him going like, oh dude, free money, which is fair, I guess, but fuck, you know? Yeah, so yeah, I might I want to experiment with Twitch. Is that fair to say? Is that okay if I experiment with Twitch, you know? Put on my lab coat, my my glasses, my tinfoil hat, just go to town on Twitch, be like, who's over here? And I probably mainly stream like shit down, just like I don't feel like preparing for this. I'm just gonna hit the fucking stream button, and I'm now doing a Shadow of the Colossus platinum grind, by the way, haha XD, right? Because again, that's the main difference. On Twitch, streams are just like, hey, I'm playing a game, come hang out. Where on YouTube, it's like, hey guys, events coming up, let's get ready, you know? It's more like that. And I think experimenting with both styles may have some merit. I know. So like basically, don't, if you're not interested, don't worry about it. Honestly, I don't blame you. But if you are, watch out, because I might be feeling bored and want to play some motherfucking Shadow of the Colossus to get all of the trophies on my PS5, and I'm like, shit, don't want to do this. Kind of want to have some company while doing this. Yeah, like they both have their good sides and downsides, and I want to try to take advantage of both, you know? Yeah, exactly. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I've talked shit about Twitch. I will continue to talk shit about Twitch because it fucking deserves it. And YouTube is no saint either, of course. In general, I prefer YouTube. But YouTube has its own frustrations, so I'm probably gonna try to use both more equally in the future, so I can do more casual streams, right? And if anything actually worthwhile happens during them, guess what? It's gonna go on this fucking channel as well, so shouldn't be that big of a deal, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Anything else revolving around Twitch? Yeah, I don't have like any streams to announce on that basically, but like if I do, I'll post them on Twitter, right? Okay. What's next to talk about? Oh, okay. One last Jake Protagonist related topic. So, it's been a while since I've made a proper edited video. It's been 2 months since the Kason simp video, right? And that was the first edited video I've made in a while. And the one before that was, what was it? Oh my gosh, let's scroll down here. That's true, you can put links in chat as well. Was it the fucking 2 idiots get absolutely spooked, the Resident Evil Village video? And then I did like a fucking Village benchmark video. My most popular video in a while, which was that how to fix frame rate issues with Special K. Oh man, I got a lot of views. Should just invest into these like weird, shitty PC ports to try to get views out of them. Nah, I don't actually care about views, honestly. Yeah. So yeah, like I think like the proper like editorial style video, the last one of those I made, that was all the way back during the let's see here. Gosh dang, it was a long time ago. Was it it was PlayStation Should Be Better. That was a whole year ago. Are you serious? You guys want to watch this with me? You guys want to watch my last edited video with me? Like proper editorial edited video with me? 1 second. It's been a fucking minute, dude. It's been a hot ass minute. Hey, look, Big Bernard, there you are down there. Here, 1 second. Like, this is the last editorial video, and dude, like, honestly, yeah, exactly. This shit I had so much passion for, man. Like, I love video editing so much, but it takes a the thing that sucks about it is that I like video editing, but I don't actually like writing this shit all that much. You know what I mean? So that's why you haven't seen a lot of this shit from me, as much as I would like, honestly. But I know, like, that's what I'm pretty sure that's where Big Bernard came from. Is from like my first video, which was about like yeah, exactly, that fucking video, the games don't need to cost $60 video. I'm trying to make sure this looks nice for you guys. 1 second. Down. And then we'll this to the top here. There we go. There we go. Nice. I had to get rid of this text. Stop. Yeah, I liked making edited videos a lot because I just like video editing in general, you know? Yeah, don't worry, I'm getting rid of that. And it's just a fucking blast. I think video editing is just really fun. It's definitely one of the things I'm most passionate about. And I like talking about this kind of shit a lot too, obviously. It's kind of why I started Game News, so I can constantly talk about it more regularly without having to write a whole ass video.
The PlayStation 2 is my favorite console of all time. Despite that being a completely honest statement, there's something disingenuous about it.
Do you guys miss this mic? That was the AT2020. I got one of these dynamic microphones now. Got a Shure. It definitely handles my voice a lot differently, that's for sure. I have to tweak this one settings a bit more. I haven't done enough work on it. Because I was like pretty anal about the way that one sounded. I loved my music choices in this video. I think this song is from...
It would mean that the hardware, the console platform itself, is my favorite of all time.
This song is from fucking... I put it in the credits, I'm pretty sure. What did I put? At least they had the balls to premiere Bug Stacks. They did, didn't they? It's from Katana Zero.
Well, that may have been true when it came out.
Fucking love that game.
Cam has only made these old, all-time favorite platforms barely usable. The PS2's...
I sound like a whole other person. This was like... Was this the AT2020, this microphone? I don't actually know now that I think about it. It might have been something else.
Specifically, mostly outputs a max resolution of 480i, which was considered somewhat outdated even during its lifespan. Its most modern supported output method is RGB/component, which some
I fucking loved abusing this little like just slide in down effect, right? I fucking loved that doing that stupid shit.
I have mine hooked up to an old, small, heavy...
Oh my god! Oh, I don't have this fucking CRT anymore. I had to sell it because it was taking up too much space and it was fucking old and shitty. And you know what happened? When I sold it to the guy, the fucking UPS broke it in shipping. So I had to give that guy a partial refund because because obviously I didn't fucking break it. I bubble wrapped that shit as hard as I could. And actually UPS helped me bubble wrap it. I missed that thing though, man. Instead I just go for like CRT like effect shaders using like an OSSC on my like OLED, but man, dude,
EVM for those very reasons.
I still stand by this statement though. 480i looks like shit if you're not using some type of CRT like effect at the very least.
On anything slightly more modern, games played on the PS2 look horrible. Not only that, but if you have a third-party game that was released on any other member platform of its generation, you're almost certainly playing the worst version. Sonic Heroes, for example, is notoriously buggy compared to its Xbox and GameCube counterparts. Resident Evil 4, while playable, lost a lot of its visual fidelity in the...
Listen, there's a lot of space to me, alright? I had like nowhere to put like my Wii and my PS5, that behemoth, right?
Porting process. In fact, the director of Resident Evil 4 was against porting his game to the PlayStation 2 at all because he hated it so much.
I recommend you guys go and read this article if you ever get the chance. It was fucking hysterical reading this because this man hated the PlayStation 2. The director of Resident Evil 4, Shinji Mikami, fucking hated PlayStation 2, dude, so fucking much. And he was not the only one. That thing was a nightmare to develop for, and PS3 was even worse.
One of the main reasons being that it was an absolute pain to develop for, a sentiment shared with anyone that ever
like I highlighted this because like it's so fucking funny. Like I don't know how many people actually read this when they watch the video, but you were handed PS2. You were handed a 10-inch thick stack of manuals written by a Japanese hardware engineers. The machine has 10 different processors and 6 different memory spaces, all work in completely different ways. Everything requires backflips through invisible blades of a segfault. This man has a huge CRT. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, dude. Fucking, like, just reading that shit. It was just hysterical, man.
worked on it. Developers only got used.
I love doing research for this video because it's finding out shit like that was like hysterical. I was like, oh my god, this fucking piece of shit. It's the most popular console of all time, and everyone had to tear their hair out trying to develop for it.
Because they kind of had to. It was, and still is, the most successful platform ever created.
Still number one, baby.
But why? Why is the weakest?
It is still number one, right? I'm pretty sure it's still number one. Yep. Still number one. PlayStation 4 got close, though. What, 116 million? I think the Switch is coming close to that, too, right? This is actually outdated. The Switch passed 100 million. It's up there with the Wii now.
Console of its generation, with its awful ports, its convoluted and outdated hardware, its basically unchanged controller from its predecessor. Why is the PlayStation 2 the most successful platform of all time? Well, you probably already know the answer. It's not the console.
The Wii did not outsell the PS2, if that's what you mean. You mean the Switch? I think it still did so far, but it's getting close.
It's the library.
Oh no, you meant the PS2. Fool, he doesn't know.
If emulation was in the
By the way,
it's not the console. It's the library.
This is my actual library of PS2 games. You can see some Xbox games over there, but oh, actually, go back a bit. Does anyone know what that fucking game on the left is? Hey, no, I'm trying to be right next to Halo 2. Actually, Halo 2 multiplayer map pack, excuse me. Can you guys see what that is? Because that fucking game by EA, right next to Shenmue in between Halo 2, that fucking game, dude, I played that shit so much as a kid, and it's so fucking bad. That is Marvel Nemesis, Rise of the Imperfects. That fucking game, dude, like, holy shit. Don't laugh at my subscriptions, please. I'm begging you. I played the shit out of this piece of shit fucking game as a kid, dude. Oh my god, so loud. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world because I'm like, wow, it's Marvel characters, but they're realistic looking. And they do like super moves. And look, this babe is so hot. Oh, of course I have a JP import of KH. Are you kidding me?
Library.
I got both of them. I got KH1 Final Mix and KH2 Final Mix, which comes with Rechain of Memories. Because you have to understand, that was like the best way to play those games before the PS4 port came out, right? In America. Just import it. Because the PS3 ports were shit. Oh, dude. DMC1, Silent Hill 2, Jack and Daxter, MGS2 all in the same year. Too much fucking soul, dude. The games. I have some. There's actually this Mojo game. I picked it up at like this one old game store, and I was like, why the fuck do I have this? I don't know why MGS3 is here. I don't know why MGS2 isn't here though. Should be somewhere around there. You can see my PSP games over here. Oh, you guys see Zathura for the PS2? This is actually an outdated collection. My PS2 collection is bigger than this now. Bought them for decoration. I mean, that's primarily what I use them for now. Basically. I played them, but yeah, nowadays they're just decoration. I got Eco. See, actually, you notice how the Shadow of the Colossus one has this fucked up, misaligned case? That's actually because I bought this from an EB Games, not even a GameStop, way back in the day. And that shit had one of those shitty, do you guys remember that? Like, default GameStop covers. You guys remember this fucking accursed shit? Fucking worst shit in my entire life. This shit. You guys remember this shit? What a stain on my existence. Look, this is the one I had, basically. This is what my copy of Shadow of the Colossus looked like. So I had to print out my own cover when I was like 12. and it looks like shit. I need to get like I think I got a good one at some point, didn't I? Let me. Yeah, it looks better now, but like when I record this video, it looked like shit.
The games. If emulation was in a better state, or if the PS4 actually took my discs, I wouldn't need to have this whole setup. The PS2 itself would be chasing dust bunnies in the closet. Back in the day, you didn't buy a console.
And I think that's an important. I still stand by this point actually. The PS2, like, it's cool playing a game on original hardware because it makes you appreciate what they were able to pull off given that machine's capabilities, right? But as far as like using the PS2 now, I would much rather play a game on my PS5 than on my PS2, right? Because it just has more features and it's more easy to use. And I think it's one of the main benefits. I might talk about this as well in that Shadow of the Colossus thing I may or may not do. To playing a game and why so many people think that you need to preserve these games on new consoles, right? It's because playing something on an old machine is not something that's desirable. People don't like having them laying around or like using them because they feel archaic and they feel, not as easy to use. I mean, you could argue that they're easier to use than some machines. Like using a PS3, for example, is really frustrating to some people compared to using the NES where you just plug in a fucking cartridge and hit start, right? But it's like when having everything on one console, like Xbox was trying to do, right, for example, for a while. I think they still technically are trying to do it. Where it's like it can play with their better BC support, or like my PS5, not having to have a PS4 laying around just so I can play PS4 games. It's a useful feature, Like it's nice to have. And it makes like when I choose between playing Shadow of the Colossus on the PS2 or the PS4, which version I want to play, I have to consider the for the term retro. That's fair as well. They basically are retro nowadays, so that's true. Before I have to choose between playing something on my PS5 or on my PS2, like the preferable choice, if I can play it, like with Shadow of the Colossus remake versus the original, for example, the fact that it's more desirable to play a game on my PS5 comes into the decision-making process, right? It becomes like a part of it becomes a factor, when making that decision. I think it's something interesting to consider. It's also why people get mad when remakes aren't faithful as well, because they're like, shit, that's the version most people are going to be more easily able to play, and it's not conveying the original experience.
Console for its hardware. It's rare when any generation sees the most powerful console as the most successful.
And that's not even the case anymore. The Xbox One X ended up becoming more powerful, but it's only because of a release.
People used to buy consoles to play games. Games you could only play on that console. What was magical about the PS2 is that the library was so huge and diverse, you were basically guaranteed to find something you would enjoy. While ports did exist, as I mentioned, they were still rather rare. Consoles all had completely different hardware, so porting took a lot of work. It was just financially too risky for most companies to port games like Stretch Panic to other platforms.
Fuck you, Stretch Panic is awesome. I just wanted to get that out there real quick. Anyone who thinks Stretch Panic is a shit game, you're a shit game. Stretch Panic is the best. Do you hear me? The best. Dude, can you imagine? I got an LCD. No one's used an LCD in 20 years. And it's gonna be considered retro. I'm gonna actually be a fossil by the time that happens, probably. Anyway, yes, fuck you. Stretch Panic is awesome.
No matter how outdated or inferior the PS...
This is the opening to Drakengard, by the way. That's playing on my CRT.
itself actually was, it just didn't matter when it had a library of exclusive games that big and diverse.
Yeah, I never believed that the Hector's Cut was ever going to be exclusive to PS5. Kojima has said time and time again, despite what Sony wants him to say, or would like him to say, that he tends to release all of his games on PC now because he just sees the viability of the platform. And now even PlayStation's releasing their games on PC. So yeah, I would have been very surprised if that director's cut never came to PC. Still the most egregious use of the term director's cut I've ever seen in my entire life, by the way.
Now the PS4, on the other hand. Remember
These
how I
fucking
said
title
people
cards that I
used
use.
to buy consoles to play games? Well,
Oh, you know, SRS is cropping on this just like shit. 1 second. Ooh. By the way, I want you guys to appreciate how fucking clever I am right here, okay? So like my main point in this upcoming part of the video is that because of the existence of ports, game consoles are no longer about playing games that can only be played on that machine. They're about playing games first, right? That's the point I'm about to make here. So the main topic of discussion here while this footage is playing is about ports. This game being played, this is when the PC version of Death Stranding was announced. So this is footage of the premiere footage of the PC version of Death Stranding, which is a game that released exclusively for the PS4. So this is a footage of Death Stranding's port, and this is a game about being a porter. Am I not a genius?
People don't buy consoles to play games. They buy consoles to play games first.
I thought it was clever.
While the porting process used to be rather difficult and risky for developers.
Truly, I am a Kojima of the video editing world.
Nowadays, it's so easy and cheap thanks to the more ubiquitous hardware and engine market that you'd be stupid not to have your game on
I don't even know why I bother putting the Unreal Engine logo here. You can barely fucking see it.
every platform you can get it on. As a result, third-party exclusive games are basically dead.
Could have timed that a
Devil
bit
May
better.
Cry, Final Fantasy, Metal Gear Solid, all once iconic PlayStation series, have all had their more recent titles available on every platform they can run on. Oh, scratch that. Had their more recent titles available.
This was fucking funny when I was editing this, right? So I was I already picked. I wanted to make sure I picked one for each platform, right? But I realized shit. I mentioned Final Fantasy, and Nintendo hated Final Fantasy for Nintendo and Square had like zero relationship status for so long that I couldn't get a Nintendo port of a Final Fantasy game, and there's actually been not a Final. I picked the three franchises that almost never get Nintendo ports, so I had to pick either two Xbox One versions or two PC versions. I just went with the PC versions for Final Fantasy and Metal Gear, because the PC versions of this came out later, and that was really my only logic behind it.
On every platform they can run on. Oh, scratch that. Technically, the most recent Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is only available and playable on the PlayStation 4 until March 2021.
You know, didn't the remake of the FF7 only come out to PC recently, right? It came out last month, December, right? Because the deal got extended because of DLC. And the port is shit. We live in a society, folks. Also, it was Epic Game Store exclusive. Go fuck yourself, Epic.
See, this is what I mean. Consoles still have exclusives, especially Nintendo ones. They're just all first-party exclusives, meaning they're all developed in-house or by companies the console manufacturers are parents of. This is why the PS3 has so much less exclusives than the PS2, and why the PS4 has even less than that. PS2 may have had a lot of amazing exclusives, but
What are you calling a dumbass?
only a small fraction were actually made by Sony themselves. Third-party developers aren't stupid enough to ignore what is effectively free money by porting their games to any platform they can. However, they also aren't stupid enough to say no if Sony, MS, or Nintendo hands them a giant check and begs them to make their game come to their platform first. And so we enter the age of timed exclusives where nothing's ever really exclusive. And
What do you mean, aged like absolute milk? I was completely right. Everything's timed exclusive now. I think like I didn't really emphasize enough on this point because I kind of didn't want to sound like a fucking Sony hater, you know? But like I think the main point I was trying to make, and I kind of only touched on it a little bit like later on, is that Sony's strength was never their first party exclusives. It was always their third party support. And in a world where third parties have no reason to stay exclusive, it felt like there was less reason. Oh, right, yeah, you mean the fact that FF7 Remake came out till March 2021. Okay, well, yeah, that aged like, that aged like fucking milk. I mean, you know, to be fair, that's what they said. It just turns out they delayed it. All right, and the port ended up being shit. That, I never said the port wouldn't be shit, to be fair, though. That part, it couldn't have aged. It's not my fault Square's incompetent, all right? They're out here trying to make NFT games or some shit right now. You know, you can't predict a fucking madman like that, all right?
anymore. All of Microsoft's games are on PC, and heck, so are some of PlayStation's now. But what
You guys hear that Days Gone sold 1 million copies on PC? That's crazy.
about the exclusives the PlayStation 4
Speaking of
does
Days
have?
Gone.
Well, while there are some notable exceptions, a lot of them are really safe and, to me personally, boring. They all follow these open world action templates that got old to me after Assassin's Creed Brotherhood.
Dude, I was watching a Scott the Woz video not that long ago, and I've never resonated with a comment that sounds so ridiculous out of context. Which in that comment was, Days Gone is the Mario Super. What the fuck is the Mario? What was the name of that Mario Tennis game for Wii U? Wii U. Yeah, was the Mario Tennis Ultra Smash of the PlayStation. Right? And that is that is the most true statement. But when you say that's fucking nonsense, right? Absolute nonsense. Like, what does that even mean? But anyone who knows what it means.
And they do little to differentiate from each other outside of narrative premise. The key to the PS2, the diversity of exclusives, is not something that can be found on the PlayStation 4.
What the fuck?
And that'd
Hey,
be
man, what's up?
okay if it was the best place to play as advertised, but it isn't. For one, the store sucks. The search function is so bad.
So let me make something clear before I let this fucking rant go through. The PS5 actually did fix most of these issues, except for the store. They made the store worse. It baffles my mind, dude. The PlayStation Store, like, overall, I really like the PlayStation 5. I think it's a really easy console to use, and that's like the best part about it. Everything's quick and everything just works. But the fucking store, like, what did they do? The store is so bad.
Dude, like, you have no idea unless you've used it. When you do a search, you can't actually filter by games, movies, genre, DLC, whatever. You have to go into the specific games.
Yeah, I mean, like, that phenotype, God bless them, it works for PlayStation, right? Right? Like, I wish PlayStation didn't do them as much, and I'm not even saying, like, this is a unsuccessful business strategy, because overall, I'd say it probably is. It's just a shame because those aren't the games I liked from PlayStation. And I don't care. I just hated how every single game that they made was one of those fell into that fucking phenotype, man. All of them fell into that same type of game, and it was like, damn, can we get like just one? Like early PS4, you know, it was a struggle, but we did eventually get shit like Bloodborne, Persona 5, Gravity Rush 2. You know, and that's the kind of shit I'm into. Basically, Japan Studio. RIP Japan Studio. My favorite thing about PlayStation is now dead and buried. At least we still have the people who made Astrobot. Excuse me, not Astro Boy. Astrobot, because those people are great. Let them make more games, please.
Or theme section. Oh, but once you're there, you
Yeah, actually, we don't even have themes anymore, so I guess they just
can't actually search under that classification. Sorry, idiot. You got the filters now, but you lost the search. So now you either hope it's new and filter by release date, or now, but you...
You guys see how I have the dynamic Tifa theme, by the way? You can get that for free nowadays, anyone can. But back when the game released, you needed to buy a fucking butter... What's that candy called? Butter... What's that fucking candy? There was like a whole thing with this. Like, FF7 Remake... candy exclusive theme or whatever. Yeah, a Butterfinger. You had to buy Butterfingers and shit to get this fucking theme and like a bunch of other shit. I don't know if anyone remembers it. I bought some of this shit. Like, why did I do that? Like, why the fuck did I do this back in the day? What the fuck was I thinking? Whatever, dude.
You lost the search. So now you either hope it's new and filter by release date, or pick up your Bible and start reading, my man, because you're going to be holding down for a long time. And that's assuming it even is on the store.
That was not a funny joke. I don't even know why I wrote that in.
Half the time I have to search for a theme or demo on the PSN website because the storefront on the console itself is so slow to update.
Have you guys used the PSN website? They butchered it. They ruined my boy, dude. Hang on, let me open up an incognito tab. Actually, no. Well, okay, I'm not going to do it because I don't want to fucking dox my PlayStation account. But the fucking...
It also
the store on the website used to be the only safe haven, and they made it like the PS5 store. It sucks there now, too. You can't even search for demos.
Basic features like gifting or proper refunds. You can't try a game on PSN for...
Dude, I feel bad for complaining about this shit now. We can't even get, like, we can't even get a demo filter now. We have less features than what we had on this piece of shit store.
A couple minutes to an hour and return it if you don't care
Oy.
for it. Now, if you start downloading the game at all, you have voided your refund chance.
Still bullshit.
Maybe that's why you can't gift to a friend. If they end up hating it, you just wasted your money with no way to get it back.
I meant to have footage here, but I just left the blur. I don't know why.
Even outside of the store, stuff like data management sucks. You don't get free cloud saves like Steam or Xbox, nope. Gotta subscribe to PS Plus for that privilege.
That's still true, actually. That sucks.
Oh, and say you're having issues with the DLC of a game, like I was with Resident Evil 7, and want to reinstall it to see if it solves the issue. Well, if you dare to install DLC on a game, the only way to delete that DLC is delete the whole game. No DLC management beyond seeing what you own.
Did they ever fix that? Can you delete DLC now? I still don't think you can. On the PS5, I mean. Huh. Never mind, this video aged like fucking wine, dude. Still haven't fixed shit.
Thanks, Sony. Really based. Suffice to say, the PS4 overall has been a massive disappointment to me. Don't get me wrong, it's still a good console. It has tons of developer support, its controller is comfortable and has some neat features, and its UI actually works, which is more than I can say for the little experience I have with the Xboxes or Steam Big Picture Mode. Boy, that's a video.
Never was a video. Also, yeah, like I said, I talk a lot of shit here. But to be fair, PS4 versus Wii U versus Xbox One, PS4 is definitely the best one. I mean, I like me some Wii U, but like overall that thing was... It had some like really good games on it, but bro, this like.
Still catch myself using it when I want to have that comfy, simple console experience I miss so much from the PS2.
Yeah, you only get that one exception because you're a longtime user. Yeah, you know what I ended up using that on a theme that wasn't even supposed to cost anything, because like I beat 0.2 on my PS4, and that gave you a free theme, but it wasn't free. And I was like, well, whatever, because I was a dumb kid and I bought it anyway. And I contacted PlayStation about it. I was like, hey, by the way, this theme isn't supposed to cost anything. Square Enix told me to contact you. And they're like, oh, okay, here, we'll refund you because it's your one-time exception. It's like, fuck you, my one-time exception? What do you mean? It's not supposed to cost anything.
2 days. In fact, I think that's why
speedrunning
the PS4,
crash here.
despite all the issues I've just mentioned, is on its way to PS2 level success. The PS4 isn't the best console.
Damn, that was a year ago, and those sales really drizzled down. Yeah, it only made like another 3 million since then. You guys want to see something really funny? I'll show you in a little bit. We'll check out the PS4 numbers in Gematsu Weekly. Or Famitsu Weekly, actually, my bad.
Console of all time, but for this generation at least, it is definitely the safest. What I mean by that is, between the underpowered Switch, the mishandled Xbox, and the frustrating PC, the PS4 sits in the middle as this all-rounder. It doesn't have the high points the others do, but it doesn't have the low points either. It has less features than the Xbox, but more than the Switch. It has less exclusives than the Switch, but more than the Xbox, etc. It's safe.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's up
That's
to opinion,
comforting.
but...
It makes you feel like you can trust it. Still, the problem with the safest choice is it can often be the most boring. Boring is not a word I would use to sum up PlayStation 1, 2, or even 3, yet I can't think of a better word to describe the PS4. As things are...
You know, part of me actually takes that back. PS3 was fucking boring. I think I'd rather play something on the PS4 than a PS3. PS3 kind of sucked. Like, PS4 at least had Gravity Rush 2. What did PS3 have? MGS4? That's it. Ain't got no games!
I see no reason for the PS5 to be any more exciting either.
Definitely isn't exciting, but it's the most usable experience.
PlayStation doesn't need to be better than what they are. They're doing perfectly fine without exciting people like me who want risk-taking, diverse exclusives, and innovative hardware with forward-thinking features. They're doing just fine regardless if their store sucks or if they charge for online. They can stoop down to their competitors' level as much as they want because, hey, they didn't pull the trigger first, so that makes them innocent, I guess. PlayStation won't be better anytime soon because they don't need to be. But PlayStation should be better because I know they can be.
Yeah, I still stand by most of that. I like the ending of that video. I like the vibe of it. Very casual. It's very like, sit down, son. Let's have a little talk. You know? Not Cage 3. Well, not Cage 3. Not Cage 3. Yeah, see, that's the problem I have with the PS3, actually. Like, I want to blame the PS4 for, like, you know, because, like, it had the most of those types of games. Like, linear corridor shit. Over-the-shoulder shit. But technically, it all started because of the PS3. And Naughty Dog, specifically, because of Uncharted, followed by Last of Us. Xbox isn't innocent at that either, though. Gears of War started that shit as well. Like, you forget, like, the first walkie-talkie section I can ever think of in any game was Gears of War. They had those, like, those scenes where they were trying to hide loading screens, and the characters would just walk forward and put their hands in their fucking ear and walk and talk. That's the first time I heard the term, actually, was for walkie-talkie scenes, is when you were literally using a walkie-talkie in Gears of War. Oh God, fuck that shit. I fucking hate that shit. I will say, PS5. They not only did they like I say in the description here, at least they had the balls to premiere Bugsnax and Returnal. I got a chance to play Returnal. I might do a stream of that at some point. Maybe do some runs on Twitch or something. Pretty neat. I mean, it's not innovative in the sense that it's just you know, a roguelike, but it's a pretty high budget roguelike. So it's got a novelty in that sense. It's a pretty cool game. Yeah, the gray gritty nightmare. I mean, that was like almost all of 7th gen, to be fair. That shit was like, PlayStation was like the one that just, specifically Last of Us, pushed for like the, like, we have these movie-like stories about loss and my child, and they're all the fucking same, you know? I don't know. I never gave like Horizon a proper chance, so maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, man. Yeah, that was that video. Man, what other videos do you guys like that I fucking make? Did you guys like game news? Let's talk about game news real quick. Because I felt like game news was way too much me just rambling and waiting for a response, you know? Which reached ahead with loot box. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess every generation's got their shit. I mean, that's what was so nice about the, ooh, 169, nice. That's what was so, you like game news? So nice about fucking 6th gen, dude, because the internet wasn't as, prominent. We didn't have as much of that shit. You know, internet ruined video games. What can I say? I liked doing game news, but I just didn't. I wasn't satisfied with the format. You know, I felt like it was too much just rambling. You know, I feel like it didn't really captivate in the way I would like. I was thinking about doing like an edited version of it instead, because then we could just have the same type of discussion in the comments instead, right? Instead of doing it live, but. Then I would have to like write a script for it. I'm like, fuck, I didn't have enough time for it, you know? So, I don't know. I do want to bring it back in some way. Because I do like talking about game news shit. I think it's fun. But maybe instead of talking about game news shit, I should just start doing more edited videos like that last one again, right? Like this shit again. Back with Halo. Oh! Right, Halo Infinite came out! Did any of you guys play Halo Infinite? That came out while I was away. Let's watch my Why Halo Infinite Has Potential video. And then I'll talk about how I feel about Halo Infinite real quick. This is my favorite intro to any video I've ever made, by the way. I love this song that I stole at the beginning. It's why is it not in the credits? Nice description, Jake.
It's weird for me to say that I've...
Oh my god, the mic quality. What a fucking stark difference from even the last video, dude.
Gone nearly a decade not caring about Halo. I know for those who didn't grow up with Halo, it's easy to dismiss it as just some generic shooter for console babies, but you have to understand, for those who did grow up
Was I trying to do a voice during this?
with it, it's responsible for so many friendships, communities, and even careers that it's hard.
Fuck yeah, RB and Chief, dude. That shit's still going, by the way. It's still pretty good.
Not to feel precious about it. Yet somehow, after Halo Reach, I just couldn't find it in me anymore to care about Halo. There have been endless essays and opinions on why Halo 4 and 5 may have missed the mark and split the fandom, and a lot of them are valid. However, for me personally, more than anything, I think I just needed a break. Playing a single series non-stop for over a decade will drain you no matter how good it is or how many different modes they add. Even the creators of Halo eventually reached a point where they wanted...
Is that what this is actually called? The original piece by Marty? Deference to Darkness? I thought it was just called Rain. I took this from just a video called Lo-Fi Rain Halo 3 ODST, right? Oh yeah, Another Rain Lo-Fi remix. This is where the song is from. Fucking amazing song, by the way. The original and this remix.
Nothing to do with it anymore. And for the longest time, I had assumed that break was never really gonna end, you know? Halo was just a phase of my life that, no matter how impactful, was over. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, Xbox started slowly bringing the Halo Master Chief Collection to PC.
This seems obvious in hindsight, but you have to remember, like, this shit was kind of... It didn't happen for so long that it felt like it was never going to happen. Then suddenly they're like, hey, finally, it's coming to PC, by the way.
Getting to try them again on a platform I actually owned in a, mostly, more functional state than it launched back on Xbox.
Dude, the Xbox launch for this fucking collection was such a fucking nightmare. What a joke.
Playing custom games and co-op campaigns with friends again, it resurrected some of that lost interest. I realized that I still love those games. I still loved Halo. Then came all the build-up to the
I could have used some better text.
reveal of Halo Infinite and its return to the classic art style and setting the series is.
Damn, the game looks nowhere near that
For
good.
the first time in literal years, I was actually excited for a new Halo game. Jump to just a couple days ago, and we finally got a look at what that new Halo game actually plays like. And it looks really fun. Now, much has been said about the graphics, of which is all legitimate, but I can't feign interest in that department. I play games like Xenoverse 2 on the daily, which might be one of the...
I said on the daily, I played this game for like 3 weeks and dropped it hard.
ugliest games I've ever played. And
it is the ugliest game ever played.
What's left the biggest impression on me with Halo Infinite's demonstration was its sandbox. Halo 4 and 5 really cluttered their sandboxes with overlapping and obnoxious weapons and abilities that did nothing but overcomplicate things. Halo Infinite's focus on few upgradable multi-purpose equipment like this grappling hook seems to better hit that balance of being easy to understand while leaving endless possibilities for player experimentation.
Yeah, like the final game definitely ended up looking better than this, right? Don't get me wrong, but I'm still like, I still think this didn't actually look that bad. Maybe it's just because I've stopped caring that much about graphics. I don't know.
With varying effect.
Dude, the grapple hook is so... I mean, I don't want to spoil my thoughts on Halo Infinite. Fucking grapple hook is so much fucking fun in this game.
Based on the demo, it seems to be taking an MGS5 style open approach to level design without the needless open world part. This, along with the aforementioned abilities like the grappling hook, are the exact type of tools that make the sandboxes in games like Breath of the Wild so intrinsically fun. Just like being able to climb on anything, being able to zip on anything means the only limit to problem solving is the player's creativity. If you have nothing to use those tools on though, then what's the point? Luckily, the AI seems to have been improved since the last couple games. Brutes can be tripped by shooting their legs, which adds a new layer of decision making when choosing where to shoot them. They can throw grunts, meaning you have to watch out for when brutes and grunts.
Whoa, the pulse Corvine is way different in this version.
They can throw grunts, meaning you have...
It looks like it's actually not a terrible fucking weapon. That's crazy.
...to watch out for when brutes...
It's good in the multiplayer. I mean, single player. It's so fucking bad. the pulse carbine in the multiplayer. I don't know, for anyone who's played Halo Infinite, this is like the shittiest weapon in the multiplayer. The tracking is worthless.
And grunts are grouped together. Enemy placement in general seems to be about as thoughtful as it was in the Bungie days. Meaning, grunts and jackals are typically in the front to shield elites and brutes, unless they have longer range weapons like a needler, in which case they're off to the side, hiding, trying to pick you off from range. The brutes and elites with power and range weapons are typically stowed somewhere in the back, meaning you still have to make that decision of, is it worth to take out the one big guy or the many little guys first? Having to make these kinds of decisions based on the enemy's placement within the level design is what makes for an engaging sandbox. Speaking of, the level design itself seems to have a lot of verticality.
God, I reuse so many fucking words. Oh my god, this is like a... You can tell I play Kingdom Hearts because I just reuse the same fucking words over and over again.
To it now, which leaves even more potential open for the grappling hook. It is a bigger world though, so you're going to need some modes of transportation, and luckily transportation of long distances is bound to be endless fun in something as floaty and fast as the Warthog. Everything they showed, much to my genuine surprise, looked well thought out and enjoyable. Of course, this is all just my impression of an 8-minute gameplay demonstration, but I really want to get across just how much more interesting this looks than anything 4 or 5 ever showed off. Those games often felt like they were chasing trends and losing a unique identity as a result.
Oh my... Do any of you remember this shit? Speaking of DLC microtransactions, do you guys remember this Mr. Chief shit? With their rec packs? Some people are like, oh, rec packs are so much better than what we have now in Halo Infinite. And you're right, but that doesn't mean rec packs were good. It's just, they had like this fucking character show up so they can mock anyone who's like, hey, why would I want to spend money on a fucking rec pack? He'd be like, shut your pie hole! Why wouldn't you want to waste money on this? It's like, oh my god, it was a nightmare. It was like Orwellian, this fucking video, dude. I wanted to throw up when I was watching it for this video, when I was researching.
This game definitely appears to have some cookie cutter elements, but when you see that vista, you know, the one with the clouds popping in, and that choir plays, just, you're on your own on this beautiful...
I wish I could have given this upcoming line more justice, because I really wanted to emphasize it, but I resorted to reusing fucking adjectives again. Get a thesaurus, Jake.
Alien construct, scrambling with these distinct yet simple weaponry against these similarly distinct yet simple alien creatures that range from twice or half your
Oh, trust me, I'm going to get to that, Bernard.
size. All of this happens as an awe-inspiring score sweeps you off your feet. Man, that's Halo. And I missed that feeling so much.
It was so hard to get that edit to look like that, and it still was never satisfying to me. Man, something about the editor I was using is fucking ancient, and I couldn't get it to look the way I wanted it to.
More than I expected to. Halo Infinite looks to capture that feeling in ways I never expected another Halo to ever be capable of. I'm now more optimistic about Halo's future than I ever have been. But that's why I'm also so scared.
People forget this shit happened, honestly. Fuck Reset Era.
Reading the interviews with 343 after the gameplay was revealed gives the impression that the game is being rushed out the door. We always knew it had a trouble developing a next-gen
Oh my god. Not to give anything away, but like, given what the game is now, could you imagine what it would have released like last year? I would have been surprised if there was more than 2 enemies.
Full AAA game to premiere it in is a hell Square Enix
more
can
than
tell you plenty
3
of
maps.
stories about. However, what frightens me even more than that is that Xbox and Microsoft have made it clear that they want this game to be a platform for 10 years, in fact. With how expensive AAA game development can be nowadays, it is the dream scenario to keep making money off the same game with support for 10 years, instead of having to make a brand new one from scratch every 2 to 5. But what scares me about that is how much the game is inevitably going to change. Say Halo Infinite comes out, and I love it. If I ever get sick of Halo again and take another nearly decade-long break, will I be able to come back to Infinite and play the same game I did a decade ago? With it being a platform, almost certainly not. In Halo 5, for example, That game's multiplayer changed so much over its lifespan that by the end, it was basically unrecognizable. You can't go back and play the breakout mode you loved at the beginning of Halo 5 anymore because now it has completely different rules.
My one friend called me out on this point because he was like, hey, you act like those all the changes except the breakout were bad ones. And that's true, because I point out the only change I point out here was to breakout. But otherwise, the version of Halo 5, aside from the breakout rule change set, the version of Halo 5 you get at the end is certainly better than the one you got at the beginning, right? But that's not my point, right? My point was that regardless of, again, I did a poor job illustrating it, but my point was regardless of if the change is good or bad, you know, like, because that shit is just subjective anyway, right? Whether something's good or bad, whether you like something about a game or not, it's going to change. It's not going to be the same back when you first played it, you know? That was my main point.
With all of Halo Infinite being a platform, that scenario can now apply to the campaign too. Games are already treated as the most replaceable form of art. See that Madden 21 you spent $70 US on? Well, a year has passed, so throw that junk out the window and do it again with Madden.
I don't use this dog anymore, but I fucking love that dog image still. Still use it on Discord.
22. While Halo Infinite being a platform does technically fix that scenario, it also makes it worse in a different way. If you liked Madden 21 more than 22, you can always go back to the one you like and play that instead.
Like anyone cares.
Halo,
anyone who buys this game gives a shit, but
that's scary. A lot of people may have abandoned Halo CE when 2 came out, and same with 2 to 3, but they're all their own games. Each have dedicated fans who still play them. I'm sure after Infinite comes out, there will be some dedicated Halo 5 players who hate Halo Infinite. This is looking to be my favorite.
Is that actually the case? Is there anyone that hates Halo Infinite and plays only Halo 5? I'm sure there's probably at least a couple people.
Halo in a long time, but how long is it going to stay that way? I can't be certain, and honestly, 343 can't be either because of so much outside forces like fan feedback and monetization plan.
I think my favorite thing about making this video was I got to use Halo music.
At the very least, for the first time in nearly a decade, I'm willing to take a chance. I liked the potential and what I saw in that demonstration that much. So for now, we'll just have to wait and see. Will Halo Infinite reclaim that legendary status Halo once had? Or will it become a monument? A monument to 343, a monument to Microsoft, to Xbox, a monument to all their sins. Please forgive me, Lord, that was so cringe.
I still like that. I thought it was kind of cute doing that bit. Oh, here comes my favorite edit I've ever done in my entire life. I loved syncing that up so much. Alright. It wasn't my favorite edit I've ever done in my entire life, but... Ah, what the fuck is this? Get out of here. Away! Woo! Anyway, so as for Halo Infinite, as it is now, campaign I really liked. I really liked the campaign. It's not my favorite story or my favorite campaign by a long shot. It's probably still 3. But I liked it a lot more than 4 and 5, especially than 5. And it was fun. It was fun. Which is more than I was expecting. Overall, I would say the campaign. Multiplayer, though, right? As for the multiplayer, really, really, really fun at first. But as you kind of hinted at with your comment there, Bernard, there's a lot of problems with pretty much everything surrounding the core gameplay, you know? That's you know what? You're completely onto something with that, Bernard, because I actually because I have a PS5 again, I wasn't really feeling Halo multiplayer for a bit. I actually went and bought a cheap copy of Modern Warfare right? Because I was like, hey, that was the last COD game that people seem to really like. Let me give that a try. And when you go to launch it, it gives you this shitty UI with 3 games mushed together. Right? It's fucking crazy. 1 second. Hang on, wait. Second, this fucking bot in the fucking chat. Where was it? I guess I just threw it up here. Yeah, I just threw it up here. Wow. But yeah, like, and like, it's just like, what the fuck happened to this UI, dude? What the fuck? Like, this is unplayable now. You've completely ruined it. It's like, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, honestly. That shit sucks. That shit sucks. Like that it was like, whatever the game was like that people actually enjoyed, it was just made miserable because of how they fucked it up. The UI of just trying to launch the fucking game. It's such a slow process now. Trying to mush 3 COD taper. Please buy all of them. Please buy all the CODs, please. Pathetic, dude. Just really awful. It's the worst video I've ever made. Probably this one, the how to use DualSense on PC one. Because I tried to use my hands and the video was just, well, like this part's, the PC setup part's fine, but the first impressions part is fucking awful, dude. The footage looks so bad.
See, it's pretty good.
And it sounds like ass. It does not, in fact, sound pretty good. Oh my god, some of my really old videos here. This is like, I had some friends over, and we were like, we didn't drink, but we effectively were wasted, right?
So, well, guys, Protagonist here. We're gonna talk about something my good old buddies at PlayStation Nation at your house felt the need to.
Good night, Lockstrack. Thanks for coming, man. Oh man. Oh my gosh. All right, I think I've gone down enough memory lane. Anyway, what was I trying to say? Right, Halo Infinite. So for Halo Infinite, right? Ooh, can I get like some Halo Infinite B-roll? Infinite. Just type in Halo Infinite, see if I can get some B-roll going here. Oh my fucking god. See how everyone's talking about the state of and expecting and fixing Halo Infinite slowly. So the main reason why people have not liked some Halo Infinite so far is not because of the campaign. Everyone seems to universally actually kind of enjoy the campaign, much to pretty much everyone's surprise, I would say, honestly. Because it was surprisingly slapped, like this guy says, like that one guy said. I mean, and I had some issues with it, but it was definitely not the worst part of the game. It's pretty much all you can really ask for. The multiplayer, though, it's so close to being good. It's so close. It's the core gameplay is solid. You know, there's some balancing issues, but overall, it's actually pretty solid. But they fucking ruined it, not just with the the way that the economy works in that game for its like monetization. It just completely ruins player expression via customization effects, right? And if you choose not to care about that, which you can, and you just like you're okay with using a basic bitch Spartan, there's still other things about the multiplayer that sucks. Forgot he does like that weird combo in the beginning of this. For example, custom games are not customizable. They're not very custom at all. You can't do like weirdo fucking game types right now, and there's no forge either, and it's not going to have any forge for like months, right? So that's cringe. You can't fucking do anything with that. So you have to use the game modes and the game types that 343 give you. And what do they give you? They give you Oddball, they give you Slayer, they give you Big Team Battle. and 2 shitty game modes in Big Team Battle. Strongholds, Capture the Flag, and Fiesta. Oh, and SWAT now as well. That's it. That's all you get. And we just now recently got SWAT as well. At launch, it was even more dire. And yeah, it's not great. Honestly, it's just not great. I'm not happy at all with the state of like the amount of things you can actually do. Because to me, the best thing about Halo was always the fucking like variety of ways to play, you know? And the core like competitive multiplayer is fine, but if you're going to focus entirely on that, that's all you can do in the game. The balancing leaves a lot to be desired. There are some weapons that are just worthless and not worth picking up at all. And the AR is fucking busted again, like what happened in 5, which makes quick play kind of miserable. But then you play BR and you're just killing people across the map, so it's just there's no good like middle ground, you know? It definitely, the inherent design decisions weren't as bad as in what you're in COD and BF 2042, right? So I think that's where it definitely. Also, it helps that this game actually had a good, fun campaign where that kind of balancing shit doesn't matter as much, right? At least in terms of like, it matters, but like the balancing in the campaign's different than how it is in multiplayer anyway. So it doesn't. In terms of the multiplayer, it suffers because not just because of a lack of content. It suffers because what content is there is only just kind of, it's good, but it's just good. It's not anything like special, you know? And that's what makes it frustrating. Like, being something that's just good is exceptional nowadays because of the state of like those other big shooter franchises, right? But it's I mean, it's like, it's no Splitgate, but in terms of like offering something new, but it also feels a lot better than Splitgate just in terms because of the high budget, right? So I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. I think Halo is fun, but the core gameplay is fun. But everything that surrounded its launch and everything surrounding the game beyond its core gameplay is fucking garbage. And that has ruined it for me. It makes it really hard to go back and play because of that. They also just kind of fucking lied about a lot of like like they promised, oh, you know, there would be no FOMO, dude. And meanwhile, they have an event going on where you have to play one match every day and you can't stack. And it's like, fuck off, dude. I'm not playing one match every day. Eat my ass. So yeah, overall, Halo Infinite, I was pleasantly surprised by the campaign. I felt justified hyping it up in that video I made. Multiplayer, bit of a yikes, honestly. It's really good at first, but then you realize you're playing the same fucking game modes every single fucking hour of every day, and that would be fine if the balancing wasn't as bad as it is. So, oh well, you know, oh well. Has potential though. If they ever fix the customization and or fix the balancing. Oh, also, more than that, any of that actually. Fuck everything I just said. Fix the fucking servers, dude. They're ass. They constantly desync, so you're getting like killed from behind walls and shit because the servers are like, oh wait, I'm getting on his end of the screen. He killed you right there. Sorry, bro. And it feels so shit. The servers are really bad. Other than that, pretty good game. Single player is worth it, I think. It's actually worth the $60, which I was not expecting it to be worth it. So, all right. Is there anything else I want to talk about? It's getting pretty late, so I should probably just head to bed. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I gotta get a physical. I want to get to show off to my doctor that I've lost like 60 pounds. Let's fucking go. Yeah. Thanks for talking to me tonight, guys. That was fun. That was really fun. I want to do another stream like this sometime soon, maybe, I think. Because it's fun to just like to shoot the shit, you know? School's starting up again soon, so I might get pretty busy during that time, especially since I'm also going to be working during that semester like the whole time, whereas in the last semester I only worked some of the time. See how it goes. I hope I can come back to you guys soon with that avatar though, because I really want to do that, and also with more edited videos. I'm going to start working, make like a list of different video ideas and start working on some scripts, I think. All right, I think that's gonna do it for me for tonight. Thank you everyone for coming. I love you guys. You're the fucking best. I honestly kind of cringe, but I'm just gonna fucking say it. You guys are epic, and I hope to see you again soon. Jana, bye bye. Love you. God bless.